that's what gratitude really brings to your life is it helps you focus on what you do have, and it takes your mind off that narrative of, the thieves of happiness that are like comparison and coveting and all that stuff. That stuff doesn't matter in the end.
Right. I thought about this question. What does money mean for you? What is money for you?
Well, dreams aren't free, right, Fernando? So, the only thing money means to me is the only thing it means it funds my dreams. And, when you have a dream big enough and that's what you want in life and why you want to live your life, you'll figure out how to get it and what to do to have the will to get it. So I tend to have a pretty simple, straightforward view on things like that. And, I think it's important. I just don't believe it's most important.
Right. But helps.
Absolutely. Hey, dreams aren't free. And if you want to make an impact on the world, you have to go out and get it. However, it's not the metric that's most important to me. I think for me, it's, the impact. How many struggling kids am I going to pay that kind act forward to? How am I living my life with Team One? That's what I call my familia.
Mm-hmm.
I married a Norwegian girl, Fernando, so I call my kids my coconuts. They're brown on the outside like dad and white on the inside like mom.
That's awesome.
What kind of impact am I making on them?
Right. Talking about money, one of the lessons that I learned about, because you got to be realistic also, money is important, correct? So it was
absolutely.
I was a scriptwriter and in Peru, and we were together, and he was a scriptwriter. So he really was struggling. And then I got into the office one day, and he was like, all nervous, and he was shaking and all that. So I said, "What happened to you?" "You know what, man, I have a problem. I mean, my check, they don't pay me, and I don't have money to pay my bills." And you said, "Oh, my God, but don't worry too much about money." So he looked at me straight in my eyes. I was very young. He was, probably 40s, 50s. We had 3 kids, and I was, no kids and nothing. And so he said, "Fernando," me lo dijo en español, "el dinero no es todo en la vida, pero calma los nervios. Y ahora estoy muy nervioso." And it's actually true because, when you have money, you have the luxury of thinking, projecting yourself, relaxing, but when you don't have money in this society, you have to achieve another level of philosophy in order to be able to handle the situation. And that's something that we all struggle with, money to pay the bills, money for the next project, money because this and that. So how do we manage that? That's a very tough question to answer.
Sure. Well, it's not going to go away, right, Fernando? Money is an and. Like, it's important, and it matters to everybody because, like I said, dreams aren't free, and
right.
We have obligations for our family, and we have big dreams for our family. Now, the flip side of that, though, is it's also not out of reach. And often when I meet an entrepreneur or a leader or someone that really wants to aspire for more or make more money, I'll take a blank sheet of paper and I'll put it out for them. And I'm all, okay, let's first and foremost, let's write down everything you're doing right now to achieve your biggest dreams. Right. And we'll write that stuff down. Right? Most of it is, hey, they're working hard, they're working their job, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'll flip it over and I'll say, okay, now, why don't you write down for me everything you're doing above and beyond this to make yourself a better professional or better at what you do. Write down everything. Start with one and keep writing down everything you've done in the last 6 months to make yourself better at what you do than you were 6 months ago. Go. And more often than not, Fernando, it's very hard for people to complete that list, right? So money's not going to come just because you work hard, just because you show up. Money's going to come because you make yourself more valuable. And the only way to make yourself more valuable is to make more inputs into who you are and who you're becoming and what you can, give to the world. That's where I think the missing link is for most people.
That's so profound, and I love it. Before we finish, I would like to ask you, if you would have a huge billboard in the busiest corner in town, what message would you put on it for people to be inspired?
I think I would just simply write, help someone feel seen today.
Again, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I would say, make someone feel seen today.
Interesting. I love it. And
the reason I would do that, Fernando, again, is when that man stepped on the bus, that was the first time in my life that I felt seen. Up to that point, I felt like I was socially invisible. And I told you what I thought in my mind. Hey, people like him, they don't see kids like me. And I believe that if we all did that, like there's some kid out there, there's some gritty little girl out there, or some gritty Latina girl, or some strong gritty kid from Kenya or from Arkansas or wherever, and all they need is for us to make them feel seen so that they can realize their potential. And we're all somehow that kid on the bus.
I will think about this many hours after this conversation. I promise, because to me it's very inspiring, and it's great. Bobby, thank you so much for being with us. I learned a lot today, and I think our listeners are going to also think about all what you said. There is a lot of wisdom and experience in your message, in your conversation, in your book. And what a pleasure to have you here in Cómo Lo Hizo. I really appreciate it.
Un placer, Fernando. All hail the underdog, and let's keep doing good in the world.
Gracias, Bobby. Mucha suerte. If you want to know more about Bobby Herrera and Populus Group, go to populusgroup.com. Thanks so much for listening to our show this week. If you want to find out more about our podcast, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ComoLoHizo, or visit our website at ComoLoHizo.com. Please subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you listen to your podcast. If you want to reach out to comment or suggest a topic, please email hello@ComoLoHizo.com. This show was produced at the iHeart Studios in Los Angeles. I'd like to thank our producers, Fernando Alejandro Schiantarelli and Amelia Machiavello, our sound engineer, Martin Garcia, and Annie Siderovich, our general producer. Cómo Lo Hizo is a co-production from Premier Radio Network and Crece Grow Media. I am Fernando Schiantarelli. Thanks again for listening.